What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. So we talked about trades. Looking at 2025 and beyond. And we're going to also talk possible replacement players in the draft. But now that I've taken a step back, been able to calm down, collect myself, get over the emotions of trading away a first-round draft pick. I'm sure I felt the same way as the fans when they traded Herschel Walker and they fired Tom Landry. This is not that trade. So the Packers got Micah. The Cowboys got 2 first-rounders and a frontline player. Kenny Clark ain't no scrub. By the way, he played hurt all 17 games last year. He had surgery on his foot in the offseason. He should be 100% healthy. There's been defensive tackles that have played as Pro Bowlers all the way into their mid-late 30s. So it's not often, but it's happened. He could be one of those guys. In 1989, when they traded Herschel Walker, this is what the Cowboys received per Google. Linebacker Jesse Solomon, linebacker David Howard, cornerback Isaac Holt, defensive end Alex Stewart, running back Darren Nelson, who was later traded to the Chargers. Draft picks. Cowboys received Minnesota's 1990 first, second, and sixth round picks. Minnesota's 1991 first and second round picks. Conditional. Minnesota's 1992 first, second, and third round picks. Conditional. So that's 7 picks and 5 players. Minnesota in return got running back Herschel Walker, 1990 third round pick, 1990 fifth round pick via the Chargers, 1990 10th round pick. Yes, they had 10 rounds. You didn't have free agency back then. 1991 third round pick. So you got 4 picks and a player. Cowboys got 5 players and 7 picks. Whoa. Now you want to say lopsided. That's a lot more lopsided than this one. I love Micah, but he ain't no Herschel Walker. Now we already received or we've already re-signed Deron Bland, one of our best corners. Got Diggs coming back healthy. We got Khalil Elam. Pickens, I would go ahead and try to extend him before the season's over if you want. And Elam, if he plays well. And Tyler Smith. That would be my first goal. But you got James Houston, you got Ezekaru, Fowler, Marshawn Nealon, and Sam Williams. So it's not like you got a bunch of nobody. You do have some players, and then with Matt Eberflus as your defensive coordinator, you should do pretty well with that, and you'll be better in the run game. I'll give you a stat on that as well here. And this is more than just sacks. Everybody gets enamored by the sacks. So it looks like we had just going off 2026 free agency options. I'm not going to look at that right now. Keldrick Falk is a good option. 6'6", 285 out of Auburn. TJ Parker, 19.5 tackles, 11 sacks last year. LT Overton. Mateo Ugalali out of Oregon. Ruben Bain Jr. out of Miami. But he had an injury, so I do like Will Helt out of Clemson still. And there's some guys out of OSU and some other ones. There's a lot of guys, even later round guys, I think, that could get the job done. As far as now, look, you could I noticed yesterday one guy had on there about trading for Trey McBride. That'd definitely help your offense. Because Schoonmaker has been hurt. Ferguson has been hurt. And Brevin Spanford is not who you want to be your number one guy. But you do have Fairweather, I think, on the practice squad. I think Trey Hendrickson is a sophisticated, smart, and likely move. He just signed a deal for this season. You'd have to pay him an extension maybe. But he could easily play till 35, 34, 35. You've seen Kyle Vanderbosch and others do it. Patrick Kearney play well into their 30s and still be very productive. Now, if Parsons is getting 20 sacks a year and all, I'd say 12 sacks. Some of those were in garbage time, so you've got to be careful with that. And he does not make Packers a Super Bowl contender. I'll explain why in just a minute. I would trade for Hendrickson. I know you're not going to get Hutchinson. You're not going to get any of those other guys. Now, maybe Myles Garrett. But I don't know what you'd have to give up for him. And Max Crosby would be my 3 right away, just off the top of my head, is Garrett. I don't think you're going to get TJ Watt. I know you're not going to get Aiden Hutchinson. Now, outside chance, I don't know how the 49ers feel about their current roster, and now that they got Mikael Williams out of Georgia, are they prepared to move on from Nick Bosa? If they are, I would be calling about Nick Bosa and trying to get him in there. But I don't think that's going to happen. Realistically, Trey Hendrickson and Myles Garrett, probably your best shot, because the Bengals, they're not as desperate as the Browns, though. The Browns should know they're not going anywhere this year. You don't have the quarterbacks. You don't have the defense. They're trying to get rid of Greg Newsome, one of their better corners. They're shot already. Their foot's blown off before they even step off the porch. So Garrett would be the most likely. Hendrickson is your next best shot. Maybe Crosby. If the Raiders are really horrible by October, when the trade deadline ends, maybe you get Crosby. Bosa, the 49ers are really going to have to be awful to try to trade him. I don't see it, but it's possible. Hutchinson, there's no way. TJ Watt, outside chance, but he's been an outside backer. Could he make the conversion to DN? Probably, but do you want to go through that with a 30-year-old guy? Probably not. Your best hope is in the draft. Relying on the guys you got now, playing team defense. I think defensively as a whole, in Eberflus's scheme, they're going to be fine. Well, as long as the injury bug doesn't hit them. They did get Isaiah Bond back. Maybe he fits into this equation somehow. Maybe you trade for an unlikely player that I'm not thinking of at the moment. Maybe you do something with the Packers and get Van Ness. He was looking good this year. If you could get Lucas Van Ness, that'd be good. A young guy. And then you wouldn't have to use those draft picks. You know, you could trade them a later round pick if they don't like him as much. I don't know. Or wait till he gets cut, maybe. I don't know. Maybe they cut him. That'd be a good option. I don't think. Jared Verse out of question. Will Anderson's out of question. Aiden Hutchinson, those kind of guys. The young guys, teams aren't letting them go. Now, if they're in the last year of their contract, 24, 25, 26, like Mike, maybe you have a better chance. But at 22, 21, 23 years, not likely you're getting rid of a premium pass rusher at that age. Especially when you don't have much else around them for the pass rush. So, getting an offensive player could happen. But Hendrickson, Garrett would be my most likely. Outside chance, Bosa. Very, very outside chance. That is very unrealistic, but maybe the 49ers have a hope. Everybody's thinking the Packers are going to do all this stuff. Well, let's look at Jordan Love's stats here. He doesn't jump off the page at you here. Had that one miracle run a couple years ago. 2023 was that miracle run. 2021, 22 didn't do much. Games played 6 and then 4 and 22. 2023, his best season, 17 games played, 372 completions out of 579 attempts, 64% completion, 4,100 yards, which ain't bad, but in the new NFL, it's kind of low. 7.2 yards per attempt, not great. 32 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. Last year's touchdowns went down by 7. That was yards per attempt went up by 0.8. His interceptions stayed the same. His long went down 7, but that doesn't really, and his sacks went down. I'm sorry, they went down. So their line's a little better, but it's not. I think it's worse now than it was last year. He's been sacked 44 times in 2 years. Not a recipe for sustained success. So, I don't. He hasn't done much running the ball. And you wouldn't want him to, because that's more chance he gets injured. In Green Bay's defense, is not great. So opponents got 327 first downs. First downs by penalty, their opponents got 104, 223. Third down conversions, they converted 78 of 208. Or no, the opponents, they converted 75 of 190. Their opponents converted 78 out of 208, which ain't horrible. First down conversions, their opponents completed 18 to 30. Total offensive yards, the Packers allowed 6,303. Offensive plays per average yards, opponents 1,063. Total rushing yards, their opponents averaged 1,689. Total passing yards, 3,959. Sacks, their opponents got 45 sacks on them. They got 22 sacks. That should go up. Touchdowns, Packers got 52. Opponents got 39. Turnovers, Packers had 12. Doesn't show their opponents. So, not great defense. That wasn't defense, that was team stats. I gotta look to see what their defensive stats were. Let's see what their rank was. I can't remember off the top of my head. They were 5th. They averaged 314 yards per game. But I think they have another new defensive coordinator. Points per drive, they were 6th, 4th, and 3rd. That's not going to happen again this year. We'll see if Parsons helps or hurts that. Their run defense is going to be worse, in my opinion. I don't think they have the horses here, and I think their offensive line. Besides Morgan, the left tackle, who's still a young guy, it's ranked 6th overall. It's going to be worse than that this year. Much worse, I think. Zach Tom's getting older. Their players are getting older. So I don't think they're going to repeat that. I think they're going to be worse. And their secondary is bad. You're going to be able to pass on them very easily. I do not like the Packers to make the playoffs this year. Well, I'm going to pick the games for week 1 coming up here. Let me know what you guys think. Like, subscribe, comment, share, notifications. Once we get 100, doing a free giveaway. Love y'all. Peace out.